This is Stories of China Retold in English. I'm Wang Chao. So, in the previous two classes, Si Mingchen and I have been taking you through the text in the book. Now it's time to do some revision by going over some of the words and phrases we have learned in the text. We're going to do this revision by looking carefully at the overall structure of the story. I do hope you enjoy it.
So, first, let's review some words. Look at the Chinese translation below and find its English counterpart in text. 比如说明朝怎么讲呢？在文章当中已经标注了，我们也讲过了，叫做 Ming Dynasty。皇帝 Emperor。大臣 Minister。皇榜 Imperial Decrees。皇宫 Imperial Palace。故宫 The Forbidden City。大巧不工 Unpretentious。居中为尊，我们有两种说法。第一种 The honor due to the building, or we can say occupying the seat of the highest honor。中轴线 Central Axis。午门 Meridian Gate。玄武门 宣武 Gate。还有三大殿 The Three Great Halls。后三宫 The Three Rear Palaces。御花园 The Imperial Garden。文华殿 Hall of Literary Glory。武英殿 Hall of Martial Valor。东六宫和西六宫 Six Palaces on either side。太和殿 The 太和 Hall。设计理念 Design Concept。对称性我们可以直接用 balance。那如果是对称美呢？我们可以用的是 aesthetic balance。皇权至上 Supreme Imperial Authority。 So now, let's look at the three words. Concept, unpretentious, honor. Who can help me put all those words into one sentence? Great! Here is a sentence. His design concept was a simple one, unpretentious and occupying the seat of the highest honor. Do you remember the question I asked in the last episode? This is also the answer for that question. Good. Now, let's read it again. His design concept was a simple one, unpretentious and occupying the seat of the highest honor. Okay, now let's move on to part C. Refer to the layout of the Forbidden City and consider the following questions. 在此之前，我们先用汉语回顾一下故宫的总体布局，顺便也补充一些细节方面的知识点。北京故宫最北面的城门最初是被命名为玄武门的，不过清朝出了一位康熙皇帝名玄烨，为了避讳他的名字，就将这个玄武门改为了神武门。玄武门从此也就没有了。那么三大殿到底是什么呢？分别是太和殿、中和殿和保和殿。而我们说的后三宫就是乾清宫、交泰殿和坤明宫。那么东六宫分别又是什么呢？它们分别是景仁宫、承乾宫、钟粹宫、景阳宫、永和宫，还有《延禧攻略》里边延禧宫。那西六宫又包括什么呢？它们包括的是永寿宫、翊坤宫、储秀宫、咸福宫、长春宫，还有启祥宫。有的时候呢，我们也把它称之为太极殿大家会发现某一些宫在我们的宫斗剧里边是不是特别耳熟能详Okay, now we try to answer the following questions in English. What is his design concept of a forbidden city? unpretentious, yet clearly signifying the honor due to the building. What is the consideration behind the concept? After all, it would be the residence of emperors. All the territory of the empire belonged to the ruler, and his ministers governed it for him. So, every corner and every building in the palace had to exude the supreme imperial authority. Okay, now, next question. In what way did Kuai Xiang illustrate his concept? Or in other words, how did he bring it to reality? The answer is, he did it by creating a central axis running in a straight line from south to north. How can this straight line express his concept of exuding authority, and which parts does the central axis connect from south to east? This central axis connects the Meridian Gate in the south of the Imperial Palace with the Xuanwu Gate in the northernmost area, dividing the palace into two parts and connecting the most important groups of buildings, the three great halls, the three rear palaces, and the Imperial Garden. What is there on both sides of the central axis? On one side will be the Hall of Literary Glory, and on the other side, the Hall of Martial Villa, as well as 6 palaces on either side. How did he express the concept of occupying the seat of the highest honor? The balance between the left and right sides will focus the imperial audiences granted to ministers and commoners on the core building of the complex, the Taihe Hall. This is the center of worship of the emperor, and unlike the comparatively modest design of Chinese leisure grounds, the imperial palace must directly express its nature of being replete with supreme power. What is the origin of aesthetic balance, and how did the illustrious ancestors enlighten him? In the creative concept of construction handed down to us by our forefathers, aesthetic balance is one which workmen constantly use to highlight the ultimate nature of any object. This axis will help observers to intuitively grasp the sublime essence of the design, and their eyes will, by seeing the whole length of the axis from the Meridian Gate, rest on the central hall. What is the historical significance of the Forbidden City in ancient Chinese architecture? Master Kuai himself became the originator of the design for this magnificent palace compound. It was his unique sense of craftsmanship that enabled him, through his balanced central axis, to endow the imperial palace with its imposing aspect and exquisite regularity. It also makes the Forbidden City outstanding in the history of ancient Chinese architecture. What is the moral of the story? The imposing exquisiteness of the Forbidden City contains within it the unique aesthetic taste of ancient China. In the Chinese appraisal of beauty, it expresses the beauty of balance. This concept often reveals the authority and divinity of the imperial power in the shape of the imperial palaces. The central axis design of the Forbidden City is a living reincarnation of the Chinese people's aesthetic of balance. So now, can you try to retell the story according to the guiding questions? What is Kuai Xiang's design concept of the Forbidden City? What is the consideration behind this concept? In what way did Kuai Xiang illustrate the concept? Or in other words, what did he do to bring it to reality? How did this straight line express his idea of exuding authority, and which part does central axis connect from south to east? What is there on both sides of the central axis? How did he express the concept of occupying the seat of the highest honor? What is the origin of aesthetic balance, and how do the illustrious ancestors enlighten him? What is the historical significance of the Forbidden City in ancient Chinese architecture? What is the moral of the story? So, what have you learned from the story? Just think about it, and we will talk about it in the next episode. See you next time!